throughout your athletic career, you had coaches in college. You probably had a strength coach, you had a registered dietitian, you had athletic trainers, you had a team doctor, you had all this incredible support. And what you probably noticed is like you got pretty good in high school, but you probably had your best years in college. And the reason for that was you had this incredible system around you, and you watched that rate of improvement, you watched that result come pretty quickly because that process is literally built for improvement. And then you graduate and you have none of that anymore, and all of a sudden you think that, like, say you're trying to lose 20 pounds, you can just kind of figure all of that stuff out on your own. And you may do it, like some people definitely do, and we follow up with people we don't necessarily work with. And I would say some people get results, like a few are like, oh yeah, I actually made progress. It just comes down to whether or not it's actually a priority to you to figure out, because the reality of it is those are things you've never really had to figure out for yourself. And you can follow a rigid program, you can do whatever. The reason our clients are actually getting results really quickly is because all those elements of all the different things they have to figure out, we figure out it very quickly what is like the best route to go about it for you in a way you can enjoy and stick to long term. And so that's why you see people losing 15 to 25 pounds in 3 months. You see people where like they lose that initial bit and they don't actually get stuck. They continue progressing. But what you see, and the thing that frustrates me most, is we have a ton of people who will do other programs first, and then they will come to us and they think, well, that one program didn't work, so this program is not going to work for me. Well, the thing that they don't really make the connection with is that coach was probably just a personal trainer and had one way of going about it and calculated macros and gave them a templated plan. And it was like, yeah, that's going to get them the result. And the reality is, like I've said this before, but those people shouldn't even be in business. Like they shouldn't even be trying to help people because they don't actually care to take that next step and find out what's best. Or maybe they just truly don't have the problem solving skills to be able to figure out what the best solution for you is. And so when we actually figure all that stuff out, it's a pretty surprising process. If you go through all of our testimonials and results and all of the posts that I see and the wins and of all the things that show like people are actually getting results from the process, it's because we found like what works for their life specifically. And most programs start with like their process set one way, instead of thinking like, okay, well, your life looks like this. Instead of starting over here and making you kind of adhere to that, why don't we look at what you do every single day and build it to that, so you actually don't feel like you're making a major change and you actually can stick to it long term. So if you are someone who is thinking about starting, like at least start with thinking about how close can I stay to what I already do, so that way I enjoy it and you can continue to get results from it in the future. That's what works so well for us and allows us to build something that people stick to for the rest of their life and don't ever have to depend on a coach again.